So before we get started, guys, I want you to go follow me on all my social medias, and I'm gonna put them down below, and also like and subscribe so you can know when I'm posting videos and you can stay updated. So it's been 7 long months since my last video, and I've heard you guys asking about the lookbooks and the videos and the giveaways. Meanwhile, I've been like, my bad. But the last 7 months have really taught me a lot. And in short, my last video was about securing the bag, and what I've learned through this time has been about how to maintain it, as well as my life, my friendships, my relationships, more importantly, my sanity. It's been rough. But the good news is I have so much more to share with you guys through experience on my channel. But today we are on a focused topic. If you haven't seen already, the title is called In Your Career, Outside Your Passion. Now, please do not get extremely focused on the career piece. This is for a college student who just chose a major, a college student who doesn't know what major to choose, or even a high school student who just is like, hey, I do not know what I want to do. I'm here to tell you that's most of us. And if you don't believe me, I can prove it. When this was like on my heart to talk about, I did a quick Google search, just kind of looking for information, and I found a study that was done by Gallup, which is a data and analytics company that specializes in surveys and data polls. So they released results, and the results were rather shocking. Or maybe not. If you hate your job, you may find this to be very spot on. But the results were that 55% of millennials are not engaged at their jobs or not engaged in their careers. So basically they're just not checking for what they're doing, or they're not checking for their employer. But the crazy part is 16% more of millennials are not only not engaged, they're actively disengaged, which means more or less they're working to do some harm to their employer or the company they're working for, because that's how unsatisfied that they are. That's a total of 71% of us that are not happy with the decision that we made. So while I can't keep you from making those bad decisions about your major or your career or your path, what I can do is give you some tips on how to help you get to where you want to be while you're in the place where you don't want to be. So let's get into it. So the first thing is choose something and see it through. What I mean by this is the vast majority of us clearly are not knowing what we're wanting to do. And I was in that pool and in that category. So what did I do? I made an executive decision. I knew I didn't know my passion. I knew I didn't know exactly what I wanted to go into, but also I knew that the University of Tennessee had a top 2 business school in the nation. Okay, let's do business. Click. Secondly, I knew that supply chain, which was a major I kept hearing so many great things about, was also number 2 in the nation. So what I thought was, this is business. This is something that I can see myself doing. Even if I'm not extremely in love with it, I can see it. On top of that, I want to secure the bag, right? So if we're top 2 in the nation in both the school and the major, that's job security. I kept hearing people who were in that major who were going off and getting jobs. And on top of that, we had recruiters from top companies coming to our school to recruit us. So I thought, this is a good move. What I mean by that for you is make an executive decision. If you don't know exactly what you want to do, you can expose yourself to different career paths and fields and stuff like that to try to narrow it down. Or you can go with what you think is going to be the best for you at that point in time. It is okay not to know. The reality is a lot of us just don't. And there are those special cases where they do, and people have known that they want to be doctors since the age of 4. But most of us, that's not the case. So choose something and stick with it. And while you're in college, you do have the leeway of changing your major, right? That exposure piece is really big. Now that may delay graduation times, but you can do it. All in all, just stick with what it is that you choose and make an executive decision, an educated decision on what you're going to do. Secondly, build your craft. Whatever you choose, whatever you end up going into while you're there, Find out what you like and build your craft. So what I mean by this is, for instance, you work a 9 to 5, you get out of college, you get the job, awesome, great. And you go and work 8 hours a day. And you go and work 40 hours a week. And you're working for someone else's name the whole time, which is fine. But are you working for your own? You should be investing in your talents, investing in the things that you want to see and come to fruition. So earlier I said using your career to fund your passion, but the point is that you want to develop that passion enough to where you can turn it into profit at some point, right? Hopefully. And if not, 9 to 5s are great too. But I know a lot of us want to be entrepreneurs. We want to have our own stuff. We want to be our own boss, so on and so forth. So develop those skills, learn about it, educate yourself, learn about people who are already in the field that you want to get into that might one day be your competitors or your team players, and y'all may be on the same team. Develop yourself, build your craft. Work for your name. At the end of the day, you are your own brand. You are your own business. So work for your name and do not just get into that vicious cycle of working for someone else's. Next, make a plan and make it clear. And what I mean by this is write out what it is that you want to do. Even if you do not have from point A to point Z, write out what you do know. So fun fact, on Google, they actually have business templates that you can, business plan templates, and they have one for every year. I actually just searched before this video and there's one up for 2019, and I can put that in the link below. But anyways, it gives you an example of like a business plan. And so what you can start doing is filling that out. Fill it out as if you have the plan already ready, right? Pray about it. Manifest it, speak it into existence. The Bible tells us that we have the power of life and death in our tongue. And so speak it as if it already were. Like, talk to trusted people about it, and talk to God, more importantly, most importantly, about it. So as you're building your craft and learning and creating, you need to be making a plan for what does this goal and dream look like 5 to 10 years from now, right? Working on it, investing in it, investing in yourself. Because if you don't do any of this and you just keep these great ideas in your mind, that's all they'll be is ideas and dreams, and they'll never be reality, and that's whack. So we cannot have that. Yeah. And lastly, learn from your current season. I have learned that just because you're in a place where you do not want to be doesn't mean you're not where you need to be. And what I mean by that is, if you're wanting to achieve something, a certain success, a certain goal or a dream, it's one thing to reach it and another thing to sustain it. I feel like character is built in those times where you're struggling, where it's not easy, where, you know what I'm saying, you're not the smartest person in the room, where you have to fight, you know, you have to struggle. That's where character is built. And that could be where some of the characteristics that you're going to need when you are successful are breeded from. So my point is don't waste a teachable moment. Do not waste a season simply because you are misdiagnosing that season. That may be exactly where you need to be so that you can grow, right? And you can be ready for the season that you're about to walk into, only if you embrace the season you're in, you know? I know, for instance, like for me, I've learned things that I'm great at my job and things that I need to work on. And so what I'll do is I'll capitalize on the things that I'm great at, but then the things I need to work on, I'll kind of go and learn. And it's so enriching that I'm getting to learn the things that maybe historically I haven't been good at. All the while, that is building me up. That's building my craft. That's building my brand. That's building my business. That's building me in general as a whole. And so you should be doing the same thing. I want to leave you with this. I saw a tweet and it said, your name is in rooms where your feet have yet to step into. That's powerful. You need to walk into who you're called to be before anybody calls on you, right? Well, God already has, but anybody else. You need to plan, you need to prepare, you need to build, you need to embrace, you need to strive and fight for that dream, for that purpose, for whatever it is that you're wanting to do, because it's yours, but you have to go get it. And people are watching, whether you know they are or not. And not everybody will listen, but some will. So You have something to bring to the table. It's value add, and work at it and make it happen. And I'll see you at the top.